It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour back in your life on this Monday, September 10th, 2012. So great to be back on our usual day and time here Mondays at the SB Nation studio in New York City. Joined in the back, Brendan, Isaac, New York Rick. Big show for New York Rick. We'll talk about that in a second. So great to be back here with you for another 2+ hour edition of the MMA Hour. And some bad news, kinda. It's our last show for the last 2 weeks. That made no sense whatsoever. Let me try that again. We're off next week, so you'll have to sit and digest this show for 2 weeks. We're off next week, of course, due to the very important Jewish holiday, Rosh Hashanah, the New Year. So Happy New Year to all my brothers and sisters out there. So we're off next Monday, but we return post-UFC 152. That, I believe, is September 24th. So a huge show planned for you today. In the third hour, we are going to be taking your questions and comments via Twitter or the phone. Hit us up on the phone, 1-888-418-4074. That's our phone number. Our Twitter handle, well, you don't even need to know our Twitter handle. And by now, New York Rick has reached over 1,000 followers on Twitter. A huge day for him. He actually had a party yesterday afternoon. His whole family was there. It was a big moment for him. Anyway, he doesn't care about his Twitter handle anymore. I don't really care about my Twitter handle. So what you have to do is just write us a question or a comment and use the hashtag #TheMMAHour. And then we'll get it. So do that in the third hour. The best question of the day will win this t-shirt right here. It is Academia Gracie de Jiu-Jitsu Brazil. That is from our good friends over at Root to Fight. So the best question of the day gets that t-shirt right there, the exact one on our table, and I'll even kiss it for you so you can really get my smell and wear it if you win the t-shirt. Now, also in the third hour, we're going to be debuting a new segment on this show called Rick's Picks. New York Rick back there thinks he's some kind of prognosticator, an expert prognosticator, so he is going to be making his picks for UFC 152 with a bit of a twist. We'll explain in the third hour. Also, in the second hour, we'll be talking to Sugar Rashad Evans. He is coaching and training with Vitor Belfort as he prepares for his UFC light heavyweight title fight, UFC 152, September 22nd. Rashad Evans back going up against John Jones, this time working with a guy who will be fighting John Jones. We'll talk to Rashad about that. How about Rowdy Ronda Rousey? She stops by at 2 o'clock to talk about life after Sarah Kaufman. What's next for her? Will she respond to what Sarah McMahon said on this show last week? We will find out. Now, Matt Schnell. You may not be familiar with the name Matt Schnell. If you are a fan of MTV's Cage Show, you may know Matt Schnell. He's a guy who was featured on the show. Amateur fighter who is making his pro debut this Friday, Legacy Fighting Championship 14. That's on Access TV. Matt Schnell, the reality TV show star, grows up into the MMA fighter. He's not just a reality TV show star. He's actually a pretty good fighter. Guys like Tito Ortiz, Dustin Poirier speak very highly of Matt Schnell, and he'll be stopping by in the first hour. Also, we'll be talking to Mike Chiesa, who was just recently announced. He'll be facing Rafaelo Oliveira, UFC on Fox number 5, December 8th in Seattle. So we'll talk to him in around 20 minutes. And if you forgot, the Ultimate Fighter Season 16 premieres this Friday on FX. The coaches, of course, Roy Nelson and Shane Carwin. Will talk to Mike about his experience after the show and perhaps some advice he would give to the guys on season 16. But first, we go to the phone lines to welcome in our first guest of the day. And I think I'm a glutton for punishment because I'm starting off with Big Country himself, one of our favorite guests ever in the history of the MMA Hour, the coach on the Ultimate Fighter 16 opposite Shane Carwin. He joins us right now. Big Country, Roy Nelson. Roy, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Earl?
Oh, it's so good to hear from you, Roy. And, of course, it's a big week for you. You've got the Ultimate Fighter 16 debuting on Friday. Now that it's over, of course, this one's not live, and you can't talk too much about it. I understand that. But now that it's over, how was your experience as coach on the Ultimate Fighter?
The one thing about the Ultimate Fighter, it's definitely I guess, challenging, especially when you're, when you got all the TV cameras and you got the alls, ins and outs and just trying to put all the good stuff together. I just wish I could help edit because it'd make it 10 times more exciting.
So you don't think that they do a good job editing?
Well, I think what I think is great TV, and as a fan of MMA, I think we'll definitely miss. I think it's more of the kind of like the bonus footage, on like the DVD set.
Right.
But I think because there's, you're cramming, I think 7 weeks into 12 hours. So it's basically you're not going to be able to get all the good stuff.
So you're afraid that a lot of the good moments will be left on the cutting room floor?
I'm not sure until I actually see the season. I have to watch it and go, oh yeah, they missed all that and they missed that and missed that. But until then, it's one of those shows. This season, I definitely watching just for the pure fact that I want to see what they missed.
Now, you're one of the few guys who has had the experience of being a fighter, a contestant on the show, and now a coach as well. Which experience did you enjoy more?
Probably be a contestant.
Really? That's kind of shocking.
I think being the contestant is just because you have one goal and that's it. And that's just to win.
But isn't that your same goal as coach?
Yes and no. My goal when I first came to the show was just to change one fighter's life for the better, just to make him a better man. It didn't really matter if it was as long as he just came out a better man.
Right.
And, I worked with 32 guys to begin with, and if I changed one of them, then great.
I feel like I heard that line over the last week somewhere.
Did you read one of my articles?
No. Who are you writing for?
No, I'm just saying that's the only way. I think you probably heard that one. I don't know.
Because John Jones said a very similar thing to me in my interview with him last week. I thought you were taking a shot at the champ.
Oh, no.
By the way, it's very good to see you. I had a chance to see you prior to my Dana White interview, which took place at the Ultimate Fighter gym. It was very good to see you in the coaching mode. You look very good with the T-shirt and whatnot. I liked it very much.
No, I appreciate it.
What did the T-shirt say, by the way? It was like a play on the Ultimate Fighter logo.
Oh, the Country Club.
The Country Club. Yes, it was great. Can people buy that shirt?
Soon. I believe it'll be debuting on Friday when the show comes out.
Oh, where can people buy it?
Of course, you can always go to RoyNelson.com. That's the easiest place to go.
And what I was so happy about with seeing you was I felt like there was a bit of tension between us for a bit, especially on Twitter. Did you get that impression, or was that me just looking into things a little too much? And I'm happy it felt like we sort of squashed it when we saw each other in Vegas 2 weeks ago.
I think that's just the tension that you felt. I never have any tension with you.
Oh, okay.
I have the most utmost respect out of all the MMA writers.
Wow. I'm number one on your list, pound for pound?
I believe I do follow you.
You did. Wow. For a while you were pulling the old I don't follow anyone, which is very bad form. And then slowly but surely you started following people. And then last week, finally, after all our back and forths, you decided to follow me. Why now?
Just because I was dealing with other MMA reporters, and it just sometimes when they get to me, so I figure I go against the competition, and plus I respect you.
Oh, well, that's very nice. I think where it started, where I started to feel the tension, was after I interviewed Dana at UFC on Fox 4. We talked about you. If you don't remember what he said, let me play this clip for you, and I want to get you to respond to it, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here's Dana and I talking pre-UFC on Fox 4, Los Angeles, a couple days before that event. Okay, and the last thing, what is going on with Roy Nelson? I mean, he's not making things easy on you here. He wants to bring Victor Conti on tough, Kurt Angle. He's talking about drug testing. How are you going to deal with this guy on The Ultimate Fighter?
Oh, he's a pain in the ass. He's a pain in the ass when he was on the show as a contestant. He's a pain in the ass since he's been in the UFC. And he's a huge pain in the ass now that he's on the show. I mean,
do you regret the decision?
No, I knew it was going to happen. I mean, I butt heads with this guy nonstop. He's a pain in the ass. I mean, it's the only way I can explain the guy.
And you haven't even started filming yet, right?
Yeah, no. And the first day, I can't tell you what happened on the show. Right. But the first day, as soon as we start filming, he starts shooting his mouth off and saying dumb shit. Like the first day we start filming, it's just like, you'll see.
That's Roy Nelson for you. All right, so there you have it. A pain in the ass, a huge pain in the ass. Roy, what happened? I thought you were such a pleasure to be around.
Oh, no, I'm definitely a pleasure. You just got to remember, mine and Dana White's relationship, it's like, we're a husband and wife. I do the man stuff around the house. I do the fighting. I do, all the man stuff, and he does the woman stuff, a lot of yapping. He's more the 21st century, wife, where, he's the one that goes out and makes probably the more money and all that stuff, and I just have to make sure the house is clean and all that. But at the end of the day, I do the man stuff around the house, like the lawn, the fighting, all the hard stuff.
How would you characterize your relationship with him right now?
Same thing, as a husband and wife, you have your ups and your downs, I remember watching Eddie Murphy Raw. I just, as being a relationship, I just want to go, Eddie, I want half, Eddie.
Wait, so do you feel as though that the relationship isn't fair right now? Like he's taking a little too much and not giving enough?
In our relationship, sometimes, I like to feel that we're on a 50-50.
Okay.
But sometimes, sometimes it goes 60-40, sometimes 90-10. But it's one of those relationships, the love and hate, but it's just we're in that I guess a speed bump, like I don't know if we need a separation.
Whoa.
Or I think that's what the Ultimate Fighter was, a separation from each other. But now we're back together, and now we're holding hands and all that good stuff. So
wait, the Ultimate Fighter? I thought the Ultimate Fighter was the ultimate vote of confidence, that he actually likes you after everything he said about you. You're viewing that as the separation? That makes no sense.
Oh no, it's just me using my common sense. With the UFC, everything's always backwards.
How so? I never thought that.
Oh, you never thought that?
I always thought they did everything on the up and up. Everything was legit.
Oh no, it's just like remember when Dana was calling people, we'll say gay bashing names and stuff like that. I thought that was the utmost confidence that, he was like, I actually read your stuff. Like, I like it.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what was that? Who's that? When he was, I think when you had, he was calling people faggots and all that, all that crap. Like, I thought that was
What? He said that in the Loretta Hunt video.
Oh, see, there you go, Loretta Hunt.
Yeah, but he apologized for that many times.
That stuff.
Yeah, okay. What is that? Okay, and then he apologized. So what's your point?
I know. I was saying that he liked that. See, that was the...
like opposite day.
Yeah, remember opposite day.
Oh, my dear. Are you trying... Let me just ask you flat out. Are you trying to get fired from the UFC?
Am I trying to get fired?
Yeah.
No, why would I want to get fired?
It sounds... I give you credit for really sort of putting yourself out there and saying things that most people wouldn't say about their employer. But just that last statement, that's something that's pretty old.
Wait. Did it happen?
It sure did happen.
Okay, so then why would I be in trouble for saying something that already happened?
It seems to me like you sort of tread that line between really pissing off your boss to the point where he'll actually fire you, and just pissing him off in a playful way. Like, sometimes I'm not quite sure what your motives are. Oh,
the thing is, I don't have any motives. I just like to be entertaining. The thing is, it's like the husband and wife, sometimes you poke jabs, he goes one way and I go another, but it's at the end of the day, you just want to watch and see what happens.
So you're happy in the UFC?
Of course.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I be?
I don't know. It just seems sometimes, you talk about the drug testing and the pay, how much you guys get paid.
Wait. First of all, that's MMA. What's wrong with drug testing?
It sounds to me like you feel like some guys are abusing it, and there's not enough being done to weed out the cheaters.
True.
Right.
That's true. There's nothing wrong. There's definitely a problem in our industry.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. If I had more money, I would definitely, try to solve the problem myself. Yeah. But I don't. So it's, as a collective whole, it's about if a lot of other fighters want to get together and put it together where, hey, everybody needs a test. This is what you need to do. That just takes money, and I think that's what the UFC was talking about. It just costs way too much money.
Did you ever think? Your story is an amazing one because you were in the IFL, all that. You took the chance. You ended up on Tough. You did very well. You won. Did you ever think you would get called? Considering the sort of lukewarm relationship you've had with Dana White, he's made no secret of that. Did you ever think you'd actually get an opportunity to be a coach on the show? Because it took a lot of us by surprise.
No, I got surprised this time around. But to be the coach on the Ultimate Fighter, no, I'm not surprised because I've actually coached world champions before, so it's not like
like who
this would be. I've worked with Rico Rodriguez. I've worked with Tita. I worked with I've worked with so many different fighters in our business that it from the coaching standpoint, this is like kind of a walk in the park. But from another end where you have to worry about the 32 guys, and then it's different. It's a different type of stress. But for being on the show, I already knew I'd be a coach sooner or later, but it just caught me by surprise because I have my baby coming.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going to be able to fight by September, October, and then have my and then basically my wife would have our baby, and then I have a little break. But now I got to have my baby, and then I'll still have a training camp all together. So I think it's a good motivation.
When's your wife due?
November.
Wow, first one?
First one.
Boy or girl?
It'll be a boy.
Wow, I just had a boy myself.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, thank you, and early congratulations to you. It's a pretty amazing thing. I can't wait to see what Little Big Country, or maybe Little Country, is like.
Yeah, no, as long as it comes out healthy, that's all I care about.
I echo that sentiment 1,000%. So just a few more minutes, Roy, before we let you go here. Who would you say was the better coach on the show, you or Shane, without giving too much away, of course?
I would say by myself, hands down.
Who do you think was the better personality, the more intriguing reality TV personality? Because Shane is a very sort of quiet, so well-mannered. He doesn't really ruffle the feathers. So how do you think that came across on TV? Who do you think won out in that competition?
I think it all depends on your flavor. I'm going to have to say Shane, all day because that's what that's the type of personality Dana, Lorenzo, I guess the UFC likes is that personality. So I'm going to go with that one.
You really think they like that more?
Apparently.
Why apparently?
From my tidbits from my marketing research and my market polls.
Okay. And you were teasing a lot of big coaches that you were going to bring in. Some guys, unfortunately, weren't allowed, right? Like Victor Conti and Kurt Angle. And
yeah, then I brought in. I believe I brought in a very few that were on my list, and then a couple of people that wasn't allowed to come on my list. So
a couple surprises.
I think I did a pretty good job. I definitely. You have to watch each week because I definitely brought in a few. But like I said, you never know with the editing room. I don't know if it actually made it, didn't make it, or whatnot.
And what do you think? Let's say obviously you're going to fight Shane on December 15th, Ultimate Fighter 16 finale. That's at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. So a home game for you, if you will. What does a win over Shane do for you? Like where exactly? Right now, of course, we got Kane and Dos Santos too. A lot of talk about Overeem. Where do you think that places you in the division?
You know what? I'm taking with the UFC. I'm taking one fight at a time.
That's it.
One fight at a time. Yep. I'm just looking at. I got 3 fights left, so I'm just looking at one fight at a time.
Do you think that had they asked you to fight John Jones on 8 days' notice, would you have taken it?
Would I have taken it? Yeah, no, definitely. But I don't know if they would have set that fight. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people that would actually take that fight. It just all depends on how much money you actually get offered and stuff like that. I think that's the relevant part. If someone offered you $20 million, I'm sure you would even take it.
Yeah, maybe. No, I like my face.
Yeah, but you could always just tap and call it a day.
That's true. Like Bob Sapp.
Exactly. So you could be a paid guy that just pays to lose, but if the money was right, I'm sure you would take it.
All right,
just like anybody on the street.
Here's the question I'm dying to ask you because I know you're going to give me an honest answer. Unions. Do MMA fighters need a union?
I think first, whatever unions need to be approved so we can get into New York. First, whatever that one needs to get done, that one needs to get done.
Wait, what was that? You kind of cut out there.
Whatever we got to do to get into New York. So if that's an outside union from our standpoint or from whatever, that's the first thing. We just need to get into New York. I think New York is a good market.
Wait, but do the fighters need a union to band together? Is this something, the MLB has with Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA?
I mean, we're independent contractors.
Sure. But you could come together.
Yeah, well, it's one of those weird different. I think it's one of those things you have to check with the IRS to see, what an independent contractor is and whatnot. But as an employee, if we were like NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, those guys are actually employees. So they have a 401k. They have different type of backing. As if if we're treated like employees, then definitely you need a union just because. We just did celebrate Labor Day.
Yeah.
And so as from a standpoint of, as employees, anytime you have a union, it's always good backing. And there's some negative side effects that go with it. But for the most part, in our sport, we're very independent. That's why we are independent contractors. A lot of guys just only care about themselves. So I don't know if we need a union but if we're ever going to be like NHL, NFL, any of those type of things. I think Dana White even said we're going to be bigger than the NFL. The only way that's going to happen is if we did have a union and we can all push together at the same time.
My take is
and all that good stuff.
The John Jones situation taught me that it's never going to happen because all the fighters kind of banded against him when in a situation like that, they would probably have to band together. So that taught me that it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, no, it's not good. Like I said, and most fighters are very selfish, I guess the lower end guys, like the guys that were complaining, when that was canceled and whatnot, they didn't realize who was the John. I guess John Jones is actually the promoter. So I think that's where either they got hit in the head one too many times because I guess they forgot actually who puts on the fights.
Right.
It wasn't, if anybody to blame the whole thing would be Dan Henderson just because he was hurt.
Right.
I guess, it's the stuff that rolls down the hill and then whoever gets, landed on.
Yeah.
And John Jones apparently didn't evade it very well.
Well said. Well, Roy, always a pleasure. The Ultimate Fighter Season 16 debuts this Friday live on FX. Actually, it's not live, but it's premiering on FX. This is
at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock Eastern, and then is it 9 o'clock Pacific or is it 6 o'clock Pacific?
I'm gonna say 9 o'clock everywhere.
9 o'clock everywhere. So 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on FX. It's tough.
Ultimate Fighter Fridays.
Ultimate Fighter Fridays, except the different Ultimate Fighter Fridays, not the other one.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's Ultimate Fighter Fridays on FX.
Yeah. You give the plug for us. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So make sure you guys watch Ultimate Fighter Fridays on FX. It's at 9 o'clock. It's a 2-hour premiere. And then after that, it's at 10 o'clock every Friday.
Oh. So this is a special time.
This is a special time, yes. 9 o'clock for 2 hours.
Oh.
2 hours of, I believe, 16 fights.
Yeah, they fight to get into the house.
They have to fight to get into the house on top of whatever Joe Silva and Dana White picked before.
Listen, I have been critical of The Ultimate Fighter in the past. I'm curious to see how it goes with you at the helm here, so I'll be tuning in.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Roy. Good luck on the show, even though it happened already, and good luck, of course, in December. We'll talk to you before that fight, of course.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
There he is, Roy Big Country Nelson. Follow him on Twitter. Roy Nelson MMA is his Twitter handle.